Aloha and welcome to Holistic Hawaii TV. I'm Sandra Cordero.
I'm Claire Bajo.
And I'm Karen Gomes, and tonight we're just going to briefly talk about holistic living in a healthy manner in our mind, our body, and our spirit. And I'd like to turn it over to Sandra Cordero and how she healed herself through different ailments or
Yes, no, absolutely. I firmly believe that we all have the ability to heal ourselves. Most of it comes from the way that we think. So it's a lot of mental healing, and that's a whole different realm. But what I wanted to explain was that it's much more simpler than you think. For example, I growing up used to suffer from eczema in my skin, on my fingertips. So every time I would wash or it was cold outside, my skin would break in the tips, and it's painful. And I remember having this for a long, long time, and having to just put cream, and you put cream on your fingers, you use your fingers all the time. So it was like a no ending to the situation. So reading books on different ancient healings like Ayurveda, I came across the philosophy that your body is why you have a discomfort or any kind of ailment in your body is because it's your body trying to speak to you. So when that point drove home, I started asking, why am I getting this? I need my fingers, and you know, I don't want to have this anymore. So what I started doing was that I started to give my fingers purpose, really understanding that I use my fingers a lot and I love my fingers. So every time I would do something, I would be like, oh, my fingers are amazing because they're able to do this. I was doing jewelry, and I would say, why I want to create beautiful things. So I need healthy, beautiful fingers and skin to be able to do that. And so I would always thank my fingers for doing these amazing things. And honestly, it was like 2 or 3 weeks. It just gradually started to feel better, get better. And I remember wintertime coming, and I not having any kind of sensitive in my fingers or itching or anything. And that's when it really validated that you can heal yourself, that it's all about how you view it, and you giving yourself purpose. Each part of your body has a purpose, and if you thank it and appreciate it for what it does, it, believe me, it just like self heals. You don't need to know exactly how it's doing, how it's doing it, but it does it. So that was just one example that I can show you that it really works. But I'm pretty sure that if you really think about it, there's a lot of ways. I mean, there's a lot of examples of how you relate to your body is how it gets affected. So Claire, I'm like, do you have an experience that was something similar?
Yes, of course. Well, I healed myself of thyroid cancer, and it was a family, something that ran in the family. And when I realized that I had done this to myself, that I had actually created the illness in myself, and how I recognized that was I ended up going to a naturopathic doctor instead of a regular Western doctor. And that was Dr. Traub, Michael Traub in Kona. And he actually sat me down and said, what happened to you in the last month? And when I looked back and realized that I had had an argument with someone who was very dear to me, like a father figure, and he was also my boss, and it affected ultimately my livelihood, having to hold this feeling of being hurt inside of me. It manifested into thyroid cancer. When I went to the doctor, the hospital in North, they told me that my only options were chemotherapy, radiation, or surgery, and that were my only options. So thank goodness I had a friend who had a Chinese medicine herb shop, and she was from New York, very outside the box, thinker, and she told me, I'll help you heal yourself. We can do this.
Wow.
And I said, great. I took a bunch of her tinctures. Much of it was quite, not something that I would take on a normal basis. Motherwort and St. John's wort. And they were like little, tubes that you take in a little syringe, drops in your mouth every day. I did also have a Western doctor, and he had me on Tapazole, which was the thyroid medicine. And I did acupuncture and also Chinese medicine. So I really wanted to search everything possible to see what was available. And I'm sure all of it healed me, but I believe that my ultimate belief that I could heal myself caused everything else to help me heal. So I was taking all of the different types of medication, but one of the main things that I really subscribed to was my faith. I ended up going to church probably, 2 or 3 times a week when I could. Anytime they, asked for, offered healing or, someone to do hands-on healing, I went and always said, I would like to heal myself, or I'd like to help, I'd like God to be in my life and to teach me how to heal myself or how to get better. That belief, and to me, my tithing, my belief that if I put this effort forward, that it would heal me, also helped, I feel. And then within a year, I was totally off the medication. I could feel when my body was ready to be off the Western medicine. And so I let myself off the Western medicine first. Then I stopped doing the tinctures, and that was all about 15 years ago.
Wow.
My family still has it, has the, bulging eyes and, on the life-sustaining medication. But I am happy to say I'm still here.
Yeah,
so,
that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. How about you, Caren?
Well,